On the historic occasion of the election of Pope Leo XIV, the first American pope, Musketeer AI proudly presents a special documentary series, Leo XIV, A Journey of Dignity and Wisdom. This is more than just a story. It's an experience where faith meets the future through artificial intelligence. Powered by the AI video generator VideoGen, this series recreates the life, mission, and vision of Pope Leo XIV, a spiritual leader bringing hope and open. How the world reacted. Global responses to the election of Pope Leo XIV. When the white smoke billowed from the Sistine Chapel on May 8, 2025, signaling the election of a new pope, it was not just Catholics who watched with bated breath. It was the entire world. Within moments, news spread like wildfire. Cardinal Robert Prevost of the United States had been chosen, taking the name Leo XIV. It was a historic moment, not only because he became the first American pope, but also because his election seemed to arrive at a time when the world longed for a new voice of moral clarity, compassion, and unity. In this episode, we explore how the world reacted, from pews and palaces to press rooms and prayer halls. The responses paint a portrait of a planet hungry for hope, and cautious, yet curious about change. 1. The Catholic Church. Joy, surprise, and renewed energy. Within the global Catholic community, the election of Leo XIV stirred a mix of joy, surprise, and anticipation. Bishops and cardinals from Latin America, Asia, and Africa praised his pastoral background and long years of missionary service in Peru. Many noted that his life among the poor was a powerful echo of Pope Francis's legacy, but with a fresh North American lens. In the United States, parishes erupted in celebration. Church bells rang from Chicago to Los Angeles. For many American Catholics, especially young people and immigrant communities, his election was deeply personal, a sign that the universal church could truly reflect their voice. In Rome, Vatican insiders were intrigued. Though not a political disruptor, Leo XIV was seen as someone who might gently shake the status quo. His humility, quiet strength, and ability to listen were qualities praised in synod halls and seminaries alike. 3. Interfaith voices, hope for dialogue and cooperation. Perhaps one of the most hopeful dimensions of the reaction came from interfaith communities. Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist, Hindu, and Sikh leaders extended warm greetings, many highlighting the Pope's years of work with indigenous and marginalized communities. The chief rabbi of Rome noted, "A pope from the land of freedom may help renew conversations around human dignity and religious cooperation." The Grand Imam of Cairo expressed a wish for stronger Christian-Muslim understanding, especially in regions marked by historic tensions. Interfaith organizations saw in Leo XIV a potential partner for addressing shared global challenges, such as climate change, poverty, and the ethical use of technology. Global news outlets raced to profile the new pope. "An American shepherd in the Vatican," read the New York Times. "From Peru's streets to St. Peter's chair," declared La Repubblica. "A bridge between continents," said Al Jazeera. Commentators focused on the Pope's humble lifestyle, intellectual background, and deep commitment to social justice. Some conservative commentators questioned whether his roots in Latin American liberation theology might challenge doctrinal traditions. Others noted his firm but nuanced positions on moral issues. Social media buzzed with hashtags like Pope Leo XIV, #American Pope, and #Hope from Rome. Young Catholics, especially in the US and Latin America, posted videos, prayers, and messages of pride and optimism. 4. The media. Narratives of change and curiosity. Commentators focused on the Pope's humble lifestyle, intellectual background, and deep commitment to social justice. Some conservative commentators questioned whether his roots in Latin American liberation theology might challenge doctrinal traditions. Others noted his firm but nuanced positions on moral issues. Social media buzzed with hashtags like #Pope Leo XIV, #American Pope, and #Hope from Rome. Young Catholics, especially in the US and Latin America, posted videos, prayers, and messages of pride and optimism. 5. Catholic critics and traditionalists. Watchful but open. Not all reactions were celebratory. Some traditionalist groups, particularly in Europe, expressed concern about what they saw as an Americanizing of the papacy. Others worried that his pastoral rather than doctrinal approach might lead to ambiguity in church teaching. However, even many skeptics were willing to wait and see. They acknowledged Leo XIV's orthodoxy, noting his deep respect for the magisterium and his balanced stance on controversial topics. The prevailing sentiment, even among critics, was one of measured hope, rooted in the recognition that the Church's credibility today depends less on grandeur and more on genuine service. 6. The Global South. Recognition and empowerment. In many parts of the Global South, Leo XIV's election was seen as affirmation. His years in Peru were not forgotten. Indigenous communities in the Andes sent letters of gratitude. Bishops in Africa praised his hands-on leadership and understanding of post-colonial realities. For many Catholics outside the traditional Western power centers, his rise felt like an invitation to share more fully in the Church's future. They hoped his papacy would mean greater listening, investment, and theological reflection rooted in their lived experience. 7. The youth and digital generation. A relatable voice. Among young Catholics and the digital generation, Pope Leo XIV quickly found resonance. His approachable demeanor, plain speech, and use of modern metaphors helped connect doctrine with daily life. Influencers, Catholic YouTubers, and TikTok creators began producing content reflecting on his message. Memes of Pope from the People trended for days. In a time when many institutions are mistrusted, Leo XIV appeared not as an authority to be obeyed, but as a companion to be walked with. His papacy felt less like a return to the past and more like an invitation into a renewed present. Conclusion. A moment, a message, a mission. The global reaction to Pope Leo XIV's election has been overwhelmingly emotional, full of hope, cautious optimism, and yearning. In a fragmented world, his story seemed to reconnect people not only with the Church, but with something deeper. A desire for leadership that listens, for spirituality that acts, and for faith that breathes new life into public space. The true test lies ahead. Reactions will evolve, expectations will grow, but in this moment, one thing is clear. The world was watching, and for a fleeting moment, believing. In Pope Leo XIV, the world saw not just a new pontiff, but a new possibility. In a world transformed by technology, one leader stands rooted in compassion. Pope Leo XIV, the first of his kind, in an era shaped by AI. This is where tradition meets tomorrow. This is Musketeer AI channel. Subscribe now and be part of history, powered by intelligence and guided by faith.